Well, hi everyone, this is Michele Brittany with Fanbase Press. I am the editorials manager, and this weekend I'm at PowerCon that celebrates Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power. And right now I'm being joined by writer Baer. Brian, tell me a little bit about how you got into Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power.
I was actually introduced to He-Man the day I was born. My brother was 3.5 years older than me, and he is a very big fan at the time. So he wore his He-Man shirt and brought his He-Man toys to the hospital when I was being born, and got in a bit of an argument with the nurse who thought he shouldn't be bringing in toys to the delivery room and meeting his new baby brother. But he won that argument, and I was introduced to He-Man and became a fan the very first day I was born.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So over the years, as you became more cognizant of your surroundings, what is it about the franchise that kind of resonated with you?
As a kid, I always appreciated how wide open it is. It's a very sword and sorcery, high fantasy sort of situation, very barbarian, but it's also very science fiction. And you have robots and dinosaurs and aliens and other dimensions and really everything just all thrown together. And I've always really appreciated the wide openness of that. I think as a kid growing up, anything with that much imagination, anything that allows you to have that much imagination is really big. More as an adult, what I appreciate is how the franchise seems to reset every so often, or there's so many different versions of characters that you have the cartoons, and before that they had their own universe of just the toys and the comics, and every once in a while there's a whole new thing to learn about and different variations. And I like seeing how certain concepts can stay true while everything else changes. Mm-hmm. So that's what I really like about that.
Now, what's interesting that you took your fandom to the next level, I think, because you've actually written a book called How He-Man Master of the Universe. It's from McFarlane. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about what took you to writing a book about the fandom?
Yeah, it was always the dream to do that. I was always learning new facts, kind of doing research just for fun as a fan. And the dream had always been to write a book about it, primarily about the 1987 Dolph Lundgren film, because that was always my favorite. And so that was always the dream, just to do that. And when I found McFarlane, who has a very open mind for weird concepts and stuff like that, it really just worked out that well. So I was very, very fortunate to find them and to have them kind of give me a thumbs up on it, and I got to start turning all that research into actual pages.
Mm-hmm. Now, in your book, actually, you talk about toys, you talk about the TV series, and you talk about it going to the big screen.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about, through your research, any insights that you discovered?
Well, the thing that really made me want to write the book is I'd learned that He-Man was the first toy that had been turned into a live-action film. Mm-hmm. That had never really been done before. The movie didn't go over as well as they were hoping, and so it didn't really happen again for a while. Mm-hmm. But we're now coming up on the 6th live-action Transformers film. There's been 2 G.I. Joes. They made Battleship. It's the rules are completely different, and so what I wanted to kind of put across with this book is that there was a whole foundation laid by the film and by these characters, and then finding out what a role it played in getting the after-school TV cartoons, having the first ongoing cartoon series was based on an action figure as well. Mm-hmm. So I just really wanted to make sure that it was kind of getting its due for all the firsts it had in pop culture.
Yeah. Now, and this is actually your third year coming to PowerCon.
Yes.
But you've actually, in another kind of unique instance, you were a fan the first 2 years, and now you've actually, I want to say, crossed the table because you're an exhibitor here.
This is my first year exhibiting.
What's that like?
It is different. It's difficult because I want to get out and walk around, and it's probably keeping me from spending a lot of money, which might be a good thing. But yeah, last year the book had just come out pretty recently, and so I had Tim Seeley, who I was interviewing for the book, had a table here. He's actually sitting next to us this year as well.
Yeah.
And he agreed to let me put up a few books to sell, and he had said that people were coming by and asking about it, but then realizing I wasn't there to sign them, they weren't as interested. So he said, if you got a table, you'd probably be doing better for it. So I thought, sure, I'll go and do that this year. So.
And you've actually done something very interesting in that you have a PowerCon exclusive. Do you want to show that to the camera and then talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So I have the He-Man book. I have copies of a novel that I'd written as well. And I was thinking I want to do something a little special for this. So I had put together 3 short stories in a little chat book called I Haunt the Spaceship, which is the name of the first story in it. So I just thought something to put together that would be cheap. It's $1. It's something people walk by. If they liked the book or if they're curious about what I write, it's a easy thing to pick up. So.
Yeah, and I love the cover. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about because it's done by Mark Thorne. He's a Spokane artist, designer, but he's also a tattoo artist. So how did you get to him?
He is a friend of mine from college. We sung karaoke together for years, and he has been making the turn into full-time tattoo work. And I know he does enjoy getting commissions like that. But I asked if he'd want to do something for an illustration for something to be on the cover of a book, and he'd done that for local musicians before. And so I said the name is I Haunt the Spaceship. Give you no other information, and he just ran with the idea, and so I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
It's a great cover.
Thank you.
One last question. Why do you think Masters of the Universe, Princess of Power, why do you think they're so popular today?
I think there's a lot of the nostalgia in play. We're coming into the age of people who grew up with it now having all disposable income to, come to places like this and spend some money. So I think that helps. But there's also something really universal about the characters, and I think that's something that stands the test of time as well as various reboots and everything like that. So I love the kind of the core concepts of the good guys like He-Man and She-Ra, and the bad guys like Skeletor and Hordak, and how they're very identifiable and they're very recognizable in what they do and who they are. And so that's why I'm really excited to see what they do with She-Ra coming up in the new Netflix series.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really exciting to see kind of what they do with these characters and what it's going to mean for the new generation.
Oh, definitely. And where can people find you? If they don't happen to be at PowerCon this weekend, where can they find you online? And more importantly, where to find your books?
I'm on Twitter more than is healthy. So it's at Brian C. Baer, and briancbaer.com is my website. And do a search by my name on Amazon. You'll come across all my books as well. I Haunt the Spaceship is not on there because it's a PowerCon exclusive. That might change eventually. But that's copies of my book and my novel and other stuff I've been included in as well. The last name's a little tricky. It's Baer.
Thank you again for talking with me, Brian, and we're at PowerCon. And if you like this content and like to see more, please visit us at fanbasepress.com.